Hi, this is Anai, and I wanted to do another segment on the energy spectrum and the virtual cone pendulum. Now, when we talked about the virtual cone pendulum last time, I gave you a quick demonstration. I wanted to do this again for people who may be skeptical or may have never seen this pendulum in action. What the virtual cone pendulum does, it's a way to map the energy spectrum, the visible energy spectrum. Here are the colors that we can see: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, ultraviolet, white. And then there's a spot that the French radiesthesiast identified on the color wheel. It's on the other side of the color wheel from green. So it's given the name negative green, but it's not negative and it's not green. It's just on the opposite side of the color wheel in the spectrum when you lay these colors out, or these frequencies, on a 360-degree wheel. You also have black and infrared to complete the cycle. So this is the energy spectrum viewed as a wheel. And this is the mapping of that same energy spectrum on the virtual cone pendulum. So you have the G minus, or the negative green, at the top and the bottom. You can think of that as an octave, completing an octave. And you go through the same color zones again that were in the round wheel: black, infrared, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, ultraviolet, and white, and back to negative green. So what the French radiesthesiasts discovered by looking at the Egyptian pendulums that were in the tombs is that the angle between the tip of the virtual cone pendulum and the side form a correlation to the scale that appears on the virtual cone pendulum. And right now, I'm going to make sure that the pendulum is currently set to orange. Now, orange is an associative band for an energy that's found in sacred places in temples called the higher harmonic of gold. And it's the orange association because gold is very closely aligned with orange. Now, there's two other bands that are also associated with energy in sacred places and temples, and that's the negative green color and the higher harmonic of ultraviolet. So we would also set the pendulum to ultraviolet. If we were to find these three energies in the same location, then that's an indicator that there is this energy coming through. And these energies have been identified and researched further in our time by Dr. Ibrahim Karim of biogeometry research. So what I want to do is start with a blank sheet of paper, and I've got my virtual cone pendulum set to orange, and I'm going to sit so that you can see me, and I'm connecting my mind to here, to the piece of paper behind me, and I'm saying, is there an association or resonance with orange or the higher harmonic of gold? And right now I've got a very frontwards and backwards swing on this pendulum. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to change the system. I'm going to draw a circle. And we're going to do the same reading. Pendulum is again still set to orange. I'm going to connect in my mind with this circle, and you'll notice that there's a different movement. I'll move my hand down, set this again, move my hand down so you can see I'm not moving my hand. And when I connect in the system, there is not just a forward back and forth motion, but there is a spin to the circle. So anytime you get a clockwise spin like that from the virtual cone pendulum, that's an indicator that the energy band that you have set the virtual cone pendulum to is being picked up. It's being picked up by you and your energy field. It's being echoed by the rotation of the virtual cone pendulum. Now, there's all kinds of research that you can do with the virtual cone pendulum, but one of the basic principles here is that we have created a circle, and a circle is one of the foundational shapes in sacred geometry. And you can meditate on this circle or a circle in your mind, and you begin to understand that the reason that the circle is showing us some of this sacred energy is that the circle contains within it a void. And anytime you have a void like this in a circle, there is energy that's coming through the circle out into the space around it. It's coming out right from that circle. And I want you to think about other forms, other shapes that are emitters. A dome on top of a cathedral can be an emitter. Now, the thing about domes, if we imagine that this is a dome on top of a cathedral, most often you'll see that the dome has a spire on it. And the reason for that is that a dome by itself, if it's not corrected with this kind of a spire on it, the energies that come through there can contain beneficial and non-beneficial energies. And you can also measure the non-beneficial energies with the virtual cone pendulum. You can also see this sacred energy coming through forms like pyramids. And the Great Pyramid at Giza is an excellent example of this. And if you've seen an aerial photograph of the pyramids of Egypt with the sun in the right direction, you'll know that there is a slight indentation in the middle of each side of the pyramid. Like the spire on a dome, this slight indentation on the sides of a large pyramid also help the energies that are being conducted and transmitted from that shape to remove any but the positive life-supporting energies. So I invite you to look at the virtual cone pendulum. If you're very interested, get one. There are a couple of places on the internet that you can get them. Vesica.org and intuitivedowsing.com. If you have any questions, feel free to email me questions about them. And these principles, understanding the virtual cone pendulum and the energy spectrum and how to measure, are very important, because in the near future, in my videos, we'll be going to Machu Picchu. I've been there, I've measured the energies, and I have some exciting things to tell you about what's there at Machu Picchu. Thanks again.